Y'all know Jenna Cannell? Samantha Scafidi. You can sit over if you want to come right. Yeah, right there. Then we have Mike Gianelli. And that's it. Let's get started. I'm just kidding. David Howard Thornton. Hello to you all. I'm going to start off with a few questions, but don't worry. I know you all have questions too, so we'll come to the audience in a moment. We only had 6 mics. If you don't mind sharing, that would be fabulous. Okay. So, the first question is, we have the 2 arts up here. 2 arts. You guys know that Art the Clown started in some shorts and an anthology series and whatnot, and then it passed over to David. But I'm curious about what the difference is in the makeup process for Art the Clowns from you to you. It looks like there's, I know your facial structure is different.
No. You start. Well, I know.
Flick that thing on the bottom.
Oh my god.
I just said flick that thing on the bottom, I realized. Everybody's filming. Oh my god.
Good stuff for the anxiety. I guess my process is definitely different than David's because it was all being learned at the time. Everything he did was brand new. Get me a face wrapped in the alginate, you have to do that? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's horrifying. Yeah, just stay there for like 45 minutes without breathing and then I'll just wrap this around there. And, the process was he was using all types of new chemicals, new types of things. What's reacting to my face, what glue's sticking, what's not. At least you got them a couple after when it was better and streamlined, right?
I definitely got a little bit better than you did. Yeah, but you also went through an evolution too, because originally it was just face paint.
They put a little bit of stuff on the nose, a little cheek wax. Yeah. And then he just decided he's gonna sculpt that out of clay, and I'm gonna learn how to get this mask on. I think the first time it took almost 5 hours.
Oh Jesus! That's kind of how it was when we first started filming for one too. Is like he was also directing and having to set up shop. So like Dave would do a little bit of my makeup, and then he'd walk away and direct some stuff and come back. And that's also when did you have to wear the cowl?
Yeah.
Bald cap?
I would have to shave my head, shave my beard, everything.
Yeah. We did the bald cap in part 1, and then we scrapped it for part 2. He's like, this is stupid.
Yeah, that was stupid.
Yeah, because it just took more time, because I had to cut it and do it and all that. And I was just like, But like for part 3, we kind of streamlined things more, because originally I was using, for the first 2 films, I was using the same mask that he was wearing for LLZ that was made off of his face. Yeah, so we had to the only one. But you like right before part 3, it's like, okay, back to what you were when you did part 1. I was like 130 pounds, and I was like, I was really sick, and I'm like, oh, no, I'm in my 40s, man. It doesn't matter.
Hello, Clown Boys. That's a t-shirt. That should be a t-shirt. Amelie, speaking of clowns, can you tell us a little bit about your makeup process? It seems like it might have been a bit easier for the 2 arts, but is yours just cream paint, or do they have any makeup process? What? Give us the lowdown.
full on.
It's like a dinner plate in your eyeball.
Yeah, literally, and it's thicker, it's rough, and so they have to build my eyes and put my eyes in. It's like building my tape.
I have the number of a good lawyer. I'm surprised it took as long to get all If anyone breaks their arm, they're going straight to you with that cast, am I right?
Yeah.
To Amelie first. Should I open it up to the audience already? Yes, I should, because look at this. Okay. Can you yell it out? Yell it out.
It's like elaborate.
Okay, all right, stand up. Come here, hurry.
I can't
Get over here right now.
Come to me.
Okay, I'll come to you.
Okay, this one's long. Okay, go ahead. Okay. I wrote this down because I will ramble forever now. I have a very strong interest in gender dynamics in horror since the genre has historically reflected whatever the ongoing fear in society is. For a long time, that fear was women's sexuality, and slasher genre in particular really likes to use this to titillate its audience. I feel like Terrifier really turned this trope on its head. Catherine, you're upside down naked, but it's not inherently sexual in any way whatsoever. It's very practical, a means to a horrific end. Meanwhile, you, David, are strung around naked with fake boobs glued to you, and they're mocking of like exaggerated.
It wasn't just the fake boobs.
I know about it. We all know about it. I
The
know.
moo moo and the meow meow.
Yes, sir. And
I'm sorry. So sorry.
that's your fault. Mocking of exaggerated female sexuality gets the typical use of nudity of women in horror, and it's something which really stood out to me as, wow, this is something special. So my question is, was this a conscious attempt to subvert horror tropes regarding female nudity in horror, or was that just something that happened?
I mean, Catherine's written an article about this.
I don't know.
Oh, thank you. You can read it in the Daily Beast if you want. I love this. This is such a good question. I love talking about this. It's been like something that I've had to talk about for a long time in my career. I don't know if it was conscious on Damien's part, candidly. I do think what's really cool about these films is, and what Damien has done remarkably well, is cast an incredible group of really dynamic, intelligent, well-versed female and non-binary filmmakers. And I think that shows on the screen and shows within the fandom. One person who doesn't get enough praise, at least in the original film, is Puya, who is a trans actress.
She plays the cat lady.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, come on, it's amazing. Yeah. And she's amazing. Both Sam and Jenna are really amazing directors who deal with femininity and trauma of women in their films. I don't know if it was a conscious choice on Damien's part, but that's what I took to it. I thought it was, for me, in approaching that character, I think what Damien does in the first film is that he's very much paying homage to, the 70s, 80s slashers and how it's colored and how it's shot, and these kind of like archetypes that have been laid out. And what I feel like, at least with the character Dawn, is that she's very similar to kind of like PJ Souls' character of Lydia in Halloween, which was like kind of, if you look at like horror history, that's kind of like given like the trope of this like silly blonde kind of character that is in every like slasher franchise.
Yeah.
But what I think is so interesting, at least when you talk to John Carpenter about his making of that film, that was intentional, because what PJ Souls' character is doing when she says, "See anything you like," to Michael Myers, not knowing that it's Michael Myers, is she's challenging him, right? Because she's sexually empowered, she knows who she is, she knows what she wants, and Michael Myers doesn't like that, so she's like punished very brutally for that, and that's very much a commentary. Michael Myers has always been a commentary on violence against women and people of color. John Carpenter is very open about that. So I think whether that was conscious or not, that's very carried over in Terrifier, and that's what I was trying to do a little bit with Dawn, and I think she's like very much a mirror of Lydia, and what I think is really powerful is she's not only punished in the same way that Lydia is for being confident in herself, being outspoken, being sexually very open, but she's punished by the very biological thing that makes her female. And I think that's why it has its gravitas. And not only punished by the biological thing that makes her female, but the people who love her are forced to watch through Jenna's eyes, through Tara's eyes, but also through your eyes, because you've like learned to love her, you know?
Yes.
And I think that has nothing to do with being naked at all. I think that is everything to do with like the power of how upsetting it is to punish someone for their gender identity.
Yeah.
You must be super thrilled with that answer. That was a beautiful answer. You couldn't get better than that. I'm gonna read that article.
Did you guys catch that? Did you know that Samantha and Jenna are both directors?
Yes.
Amazing. Who has another question? I see you. I'm coming as fast as I can.
So
Oprah right now.
I have two, so I'm just gonna throw them out there. My first one's for David. You starred in movies like Steamboat and The Mean One, which you know, those are like part of my childhood. So now unintentionally you're like associated with my childhood, if that makes sense. So how does it feel to be that for people now? And my second one is, I definitely see Terrifier being a franchise like Halloween and Scream in terms of having many sequels. So what are the chances that Terrifier might have like 8 or 9 sequels?
Speaking of childhood,
It's like a toy.
Can you do that again? That was unexpected.
That is not new. You've had it at the past 4 conventions. Someone stole it from me. Someone steal it, please.
we have everything here. We have an essay on gender in film, and we have David farting.
And then it's Harkins.
This is great. Hours of fun, I tell you.
That's his answer to everything.
I love bringing this in elevators with me now. This is anyway, but yeah, I'm a big kid, as you can tell. So, so I for Screamboat and Mean One, I had so much fun doing that because I think it's fun to like take a dark twist on like childhood favorites, because I grew up in a time period where they just believed in scaring the shit out of children. It was just like in the 80s, like, oh my God, everything was just dark. It was like, and I think that really prepared us for like life in a lot of ways. So I thought that was kind of fun. I was like, oh wow, I get to do my own dark twist on like some childhood favorite something. Both of those characters too have a strong place in my heart. I mean, first of all, the Grinch, I grew up on that story. That is the American Christmas story. That was the first real, truly American Christmas story. And I watched that every year, and then I toured with it for 5 years with How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the musical. I was actually here in Houston back in 2010 touring with that. So you might have even heard my voice on the train back then, because I was doing some promo work with that. So that was fun. And so I was happy to return to that character in a fun way, especially since I was the understudy for the Grinch in that show, and our Grinch was the wonderfully talented Stephen Carl, who was Robbie Rotten from Lazy Town. And yeah. So I had a master's class in physical clowning training with him, just being his understudy. So I put a lot of what I learned from Stefan into art. Over the even when I got cast as art, I called Stefan up and I'm like, dude, I'm finally getting a chance to play this fun, silent, mischievous character like Mr. Bean, and because he had that love for silent comedies like I do. And I'm like, give me some tips, and he gave me some great tips. So I was glad I was able to return to that character. Unfortunately, Stefan passed away back in 2018 from cancer, and I was happy to return to that character in a whole new way and do my own dark twist on him. And then Mickey, I have a huge place in my heart for that too, because my very first leading role I ever did in a show was Mickey Mouse in Mickey's Christmas Carol in my middle school choir's production. Yeah. And it is because my mom encouraged me, because I was bullied so much in school. I was very shy, very quiet, and my mom's like, you do this great Mickey Mouse impersonation, you're funny, let your classmates see this side of you. And so she encouraged me to do the show, and during the course of the show, things were going wrong. Like the set fell down on top of Scrooge and I at one point. Thank goodness it was made out of cardboard, so we didn't die, obviously. But I just was like, oh, Mr. Scrooge, I think we have rats. And the audience just went crazy. And then we're doing the Cratchit family dinner scene. We had this little tiny table, and we had this little tiny chicken on the table, and the table broke and like shot the chicken over the audience. And I'm like, well, I guess we have fast food tonight. And how people were laughing at what was going on, I was like, this is fantastic. And that's when I found my love for doing comedy and doing theater, because I'm like, wow, for the first time in this school, I am making people laugh with me instead of at me, and I was in control for once, and I was like, I found my calling right there. So being able to return to Mickey and do a new interpretation of that character was really, truly something special. So when Steve Lamort, who directed both of those films, approached me to do Mickey, he hadn't even written the script yet. He's like, I got an idea for Screenboat, because I know Mickey's going to become, or Willie is going to become public domain, and I want to jump at that before anybody else really does it. I'm like, absolutely, I am there. I don't care what you write, I am there. So I was so happy to return to that. So that's why I was happy to do those films, and I am so happy people love it. They see what we're doing, because we were going crazy and campy with it. It's like, this is not serious. I hope, and we just want people to have fun with it, and I'm glad people enjoy it. And stay tuned. You might hear more about some possible more films.
Oh boy! She wants 8 or 9 new films.
Yeah, well, as for Terrifier and all that, who knows? That's up to Damien, man. And he'll probably want a house in the Hamptons and Malibu and stuff like that. So that's up to him. But I mean, I know.
That man is never leaving Jersey.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah, I know.
He's gonna stay near Phil Falcone for the rest of his life.
I don't think he's left his house. Mike can respond to that.
That is
You
true.
see Damien having 10
Yeah, he was
houses in
Damien
like
better than all of
Malibu.
us.
Oh, he's going nowhere.
I think the near future you'll see a part 4 and it will be phenomenal.
Yes.
I'm very happy how it ends, and who knows, in the future anything can happen.
Can you tell us when it might start filming? Because there is an IMDb up there, but it just says pre-production.
We don't know yet. He's hard at work writing it right now, and it's like, because he's also been working on a different script for someone with a lot of prestige, and it's all coming down to, I've discovered so much about the Hollywood engine because of Damien Leone, because the things, it's a miracle movies get made, because it's not just you have a script, you have to go, especially when it's gone through the studio system, you have to go through so many different channels just to get a movie, just trying to get funding and everything. So that's what they're dealing with right now, is trying to get funding for this film and getting approval for different things. Is like, that's the one thing I think Damien likes about doing his own films, is like, he gets to decide everything. He's not having to go through all these big, huge CEOs and stuff like that. He's just like, I want to do this, I'm going to do it. So
It must help having established IP. I think anything new is just very difficult.
Oh Oh yeah.
There are pros and cons to working within the
Yes.
studio system. You know.
Yeah, that's just how the whole entire thing is.
Yeah.
They can give you a lot more money for one.
Yes.
Get a trailer and a makeup chair, right, Heather, who's sitting in the
Yeah,
front
yeah,
row?
Heather.
They get makeup chairs
Yeah,
for
they-
6 to 8 hours.
Who is Heather? Why is she hiding her face?
Heather is the amazing special effects artist. who's
Heather, please, Heather, stand up. The movie special effects lady right here, guys. Oh, wow, I should have asked you the questions about the makeup.
Well, you didn't even get to meet him. I had 6 to 8 hours, guys.
I'm gonna, yeah, let's,
Sit the fuck down.
so that's what I wanted to talk to you, Samantha, about. Not just your process with makeup, but the character evolution and arc you go through is wild, and I feel like it's gonna get crazier in the future movie or movies. Did Damien share with you any backstory on the character, at least after Terrifier 1, or where he's wanting to go to give you some kind of direction and development?
So Damien is an amazing artist, and one thing I love about him is that his artistry evolves as the story goes. You know, after we film, if something's on set and something happens, he gets inspired. He's not afraid to change something. Another pro to, you know, being a writer and a director himself and not being connected to a studio or someone else. So Vicky was someone who I always joke with anyone who I've met at my table. At every film I've done, I've always thought I was dying. So like in one, it wasn't supposed to be me who was with a news reporter. It was a past victim, and Dana's like, oh, I have an idea, let's just connect the story, which then I survive. To Art the Clown, we had originally filmed with Chris Jericho, him coming out of the back of my head, and Malignant came out like not even a month or so after. We hadn't even edited the scene, and Damien's like, fuck, we need to go back to the drawing board. Like, we cannot do that scene, which then kept me alive. And then he obviously had the genius idea for me to birth the head. So yeah, it was after too that Damien's like, I had this idea, and I'm really excited by it. And he's like, what if Vicky takes this turn and, you know, she becomes a villain? And it explains, you know, the supernatural Art the Clown and all that stuff. So I was just like kind of along the journey with Damien, and always just amazed and surprised and really grateful for the arc, and also the fact that you don't see it often where final girls or women who've been traumatized specifically in movies, where you see the other effect, which is that not everyone always overcomes their trauma.
Yeah.
And that's something that I love that's different about this series, is it defies the trope. It's like you have a character who's been so traumatized, it's literally been taken her identity away from her and everything that she loves. And, you know, she succumbs to that, and that's where you get Vicky, Hayes, and 3, and that was really exciting to kind of go on that journey as an actor in one film, in one series, so.
We're excited to see where the journey takes you in 4. At least I am. Who has another question? Oh, right here.
So for part 3, what was it like filming Vicky after the bathtub scene?
Oh, you want to know about the glass? Which I'm very, you know, I'm very open about this. I thought it was going to be totally fine, because at that point I knew Damien and I knew, you know, everyone, David, everyone. I was like, oh, it's a family. You probably didn't actually want to know about the glass. You just want to know that, like, where it's just the villain and not Vicky anymore. But the glass scene was very uncomfortable to film. But like I said, I thought it was going to be fine. But when you get to set and they call action, everything is dead silent, and Damien wants a very realistic depiction, and all your friends are kind of in the dark. It can get a little weird. And of course, David was my eye line.
That was
So
very weird.
I was staring at David the whole time, and David at one point did turn his head in disgust. He wasn't like, yeah, keep going. He was like absolutely grossed out. And that didn't help me.
But it's weird because I you know, like, Sam's kind of like my sister now, and so I'm just like, this is.
Excuse me.
Yeah. Not Vicky, Sam.
Sure.
But like, we built that relationship.
You're on thin ice.
You go, no. But it was just so like, this is okay, this is getting very, very weird. I cannot make eye contact. I cannot make eye contact.
Yeah, Damien was so uncomfortable too that he almost left set. It's just funny because he wrote it, so. But other than that, the prosthetics were really intense, and playing Vicky as the villain was phenomenal. I loved it. I loved fucking with everyone, working with amazing actors, Lauren, David, Margaret Ann, Antonella, everyone. It's been
Vicky's
amazing.
face looks like when people get attacked by gorillas.
Well, so I think that's what's disturbing about Vicky's her face, and just because she's modeled after face transplants. Which I always second guess myself, but I believe David mentioned part of the inspiration was tragically the woman who had been attacked by the chimpanzee.
That's what it looks like.
Which, the irony of the connection of this is, I believe it happened 3 miles from where I grew up. So it's a weird little thing that'll come around, yeah. But it makes it terrifying, and I think subliminally very uncomfortable for people, because when I first put that mask on in the makeup chair, I had a little bit of a panic attack. Because I was like, oh man, this is actually a horrible thing that can happen to people, and this is their experience. It becomes very visceral when you actually think about that. So.
It also has a bit of that uncanny valley, because there are facial features, but not quite right.
Exactly.
And you guys already answered a follow-up about what was one of the hardest special effects kill scenes, even though that wasn't a kill scene, but you answered that question. So I'm coming back for more. Who's got one? I'm gonna go way to the back. My theme song is this. Okay, here you go.
So this question is for Mr. David. One of the most horror-like and hilarious things about art in Terrifier 2 is how much you communicate without saying a single word. In scenes like the store encounter or meeting Santa, your expressions swing from like childhood-like to pure menace within seconds. How do you develop that range of silent expression, and what goes through your head in the moment to make it clear and vivid to the audience?
Well, like I said, first of all, I had a great instructor, mentor with Stefan, so I learned so much from him, but I also had a great education growing up watching silent films. I love silent comedy. I was watching Charlie Chaplin, the Marx Brothers, Mr. Bean. I was like, my aunt gifted me a box set of Mr. Bean videos when I was like 12 years old, and I would just watch them over and over and over and over and over and over and over. And I just love that style of acting. I feel like that's something you don't see anymore. And so I wanted to bring that aspect to the character, because I always felt like that would distinguish Art from all these other silent killers that have come before him. Plus, that way you could have the great charisma, the funny charisma that like Chucky and Freddy had, but you can mix that with the silent killer that you have with Jason and Michael Myers and all that. So I just had a lot of fun with that, and I just Damien just let me play around on set a lot with that. And it was like when he wrote part 1, he didn't know me at the time, so we discovered this thankfully early on when we were filming, because we filmed the pizzeria scene pretty early in that process, and that's where I think everything really clicked into place with the character. And because he's like that, with all the faces I was making at the table, he was like, Dave, because in the script said Art makes a few faces at Tara, and he's like, Dave, we're just gonna turn the camera on, just make some faces. And I just started just goofing around making faces. And he forgot to turn on, he forgot to say cut, so I just kept going for like 5 minutes. I just kept going, he didn't say cut, okay, he's like, oh God, yes, cut. And also when I did the ring with Tara, it's like my little hop up and jaunt to the bathroom, he's like, that's great, keep doing that with the character. So, because I think originally he didn't want Art to be too clownish, but he was like, this kind of worked for the character. He wanted him to be more like just a normal person, just in clown makeup, but he's like, this actually kind of works in a weird way. And once he saw how the audiences responded to that in part 1, he's like, I'm gonna write some more of these fun little goofy scenes for you in part 2. And he basically, in the script, he just said, like, with the costume shop scene, he's like, there's a bunch of props and Art plays with props. And it's like, we'll just figure that out when we're in the room with it all. So I just had a field day with the props and just went crazy with it. And that was with the Sansa scene in the bar in part 3, which is probably my favorite thing I've ever filmed. Because not only was I just given a chance just to do my thing, I'm able to do my thing with these men that I have watched in movies and TV shows my whole entire life, like Clint Howard, Bradley Stryker, and Daniel Roebuck. and that was just pure joy for me. And Damien even came to us. He's like, I wrote words. You guys are awesome, so you have fun with it. And so, all three of them were just making up things, and that was just lobbing comic gold my direction, so I could just play off of them. Especially Danny, like when we're doing the torture scene, he's just making up this great whole entire backstory with his family and how they. I'm like, this is great. Keep on. And so I just get to play, and that's what I love. I love to be able to play. But for myself, I make up my own dialogue in my head. So it gives me something to react off of, and things just happen organically. I don't even know I make some faces and stuff like that until Dave will say, oh my God, Dave, do that again. I'm like, what did I do? It's like the O face in the costume shop in the part 2. I did not know I did that. And he's like, do that again. I'm like, what? And I'm like, oh my God, oh, wow, that's great. Okay, cool. It's just like, that's what I love about Damien. He is just so actor friendly. He has his ideas about what he wants. He's very specific about what he wants, but he also is open to ideas from other actors and also other crew members. It's like, hey, if we can make this better, let's make it better. And he's a lot of fun to work with in that way.
There's something about switching back from the goofy performative art to the murderous demon art that is not only terrifying, but epic. And I think that's what makes the characters so amazing. It's like, where's the glasses lady? Yeah, right here. Will you stand up? This I see all over the place now from that scene with these glasses, all the flower glasses. Look at that. I've seen them on earrings everywhere. All right, who's next? Anyone? Okay.
Those people that made those glasses originally have got to be loving us now. Probably at first are like, why are these things selling so much all of a sudden?
Hi, yes, I have a question for David. You are right up there with Ray Park, the guy that plays Darth Maul, in the way that you emote and you don't speak. Would you ever consider collaborating with him?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm a huge Star Wars nerd especially, so I would like, oh my God. I would be happy being a stormtrooper in the background in Star Wars. I'd be like, pew, pew, I miss everything. Pew, pew.
This is for everyone. So horror movies have a lot of really great kind of versus crossover stuff. Freddy versus Jason, Alien versus Predator, Sadako versus Hyena, all of those. So for each of y'all, who do you think would be the best versus to go up against just the Terrifier franchise?
Art versus Jaws.
That would be awesome. Art be ooh-ha-ha.
Art versus King Kong.
Yes.
Are we just naming
Godzilla
animals?
minus art.
I would really love to see, this is like a more obscure character, but I think it'd be such a fun mashup, and it could just be a silent film as Art going up against the janitor character from Willy's Wonderland. I think that would be epic. Plus, it's Nicolas Cage, man.
Yes, he is wonderful to work with.
Hey guys, my question is to all of y'all. I was wondering how y'all got casted, like for everybody, and what was your reaction when you saw what your role was?
Let's start with Mike.
I didn't have a choice. He just said, hey man, you want to go sit on a bench and be a clown? He's like, why don't you get you a couple of beers? I was like, all right. So I sat there, and now here I am.
Jenna, what about you?
Mike was in a short film that Damien did long ago called The Ninth Circle. And before Terrifier was even a twinkle in Damien's uterus, he was going to make The Ninth Circle as a feature film. And I don't remember how, neither Damien or I can remember how we met, but we somehow met or got connected, and I was originally going to be in The Ninth Circle feature film. Yeah, so we were always destined to meet as well, apparently. But when it seemed like he was going to make Terrifier first instead of The Ninth Circle, he reached out to me and he was like, hey, do you want to do this other movie instead? It seems like this one's what's going to happen first. And I read the script and I was like, you twisted fuck. I'm in.
Samantha, what about you?
So Gino Caffarelli plays the pizzeria owner in Terrifier 1. And out of school, I did a little spec short for him. It was for a feature, or spec for a feature, sorry. So it was a short. And when Damien was looking for actors and actresses, he asked Gino. Gino had recommended me, and then I auditioned and got the part. What was the second question?
Was there a second? I think it was.
What was my reaction?
Reactions to like the role.
Oh God! What was my reaction to the script? I didn't know. I say this all the time. I didn't know who Art the Clown. No one knew who Art the Clown was, and until I hadn't seen Ninth Circle. I hadn't seen All Hallows Eve, and until like David embodies Art the Clown, he doesn't really jump off the page. So when you're reading a Damien Leone script, especially Terrifier, and you're reading just like, he like writes out the scenes. So you're reading just like pure violence. And I at one point was like, I can't fucking do this. This is nuts. This guy is crazy. And I have no idea why I said yes. Because very happy I did. I had nothing to do.
Well, yeah. I mean, I remember being like, well, no one's gonna see this movie.
That's exactly what I said. I was like, you know what? I'm not doing anything. I need some money, and no one's gonna fucking see this. I'm very happy now.
Catherine, what about you?
I did some work for Troma that premiered at Cannes, which is like a very prestigious festival. So how I ended up here. But one of the effects artists on that film was an amazing effects artist who has passed away, Doug Sackman, incredible human. And he used to run these things called the New York City zombie crawls, where it was literally a crawl of zombies through the streets of New York City. Why? No one knows. But he would use it as a way for effects artists to build their portfolios. So if you were trying to build a portfolio for like $15 a head, you could do effects makeup on people that wanted to participate. And Damien Leone was one of those people. And so when Damien was looking to do like a film to showcase more of his effects stuff, because originally he just wanted to be an effects artist, he asked Doug, and Doug was like, I know this girl, she's always down for some like crazy shit, like maybe we should do that, And so we met, and I was supposed to like actually do like some sort of like chem read with David, but when I showed up, David wasn't there, it was just Phil. And
the producer?
Yeah, it was like, I didn't know it was Phil at the time. Like, I just like walked in, I was like, I thought Phil was like maybe the guy playing the clown. Like, I didn't really know. It was like all kind of like weird, and so I just kind of like, they were like, yeah, we just want to like, make sure it's gonna work, and like I was like, cool, and so I did like the pizzeria scene that I do with David, but with like Phil, our producer, and like almost the exact way that I do it with David.
You sat on his lap and
I don't think I sat on his lap, but I think I definitely moved his face, like grabbed him, and they're like everyone's hysterically laughing, and I was like, wow, I'm really crushing it, I didn't know it was just because Phil's hilarious, like his existence. So yeah, I don't know.
That's one of my favorite scenes in the movie, by the way, and then the callback at the end. You did a great job, and you two, the chemistry is great, by the way.
Us two?
Yeah, you two.
Yeah, we're actually married. No,
oh yeah.
The only ones up here who aren't fucking clowns.
Isn't that the truth?
Amelie.
They're fucking everywhere. Jenna has a really cool line in Renfield that like kind of harkens to that.
Yeah, I improv'd a line about dreaming about clowns, and they ended up keeping it in the movie because Chris McKay, the director, which is the Nicolas Cage Dracula movie, is a fan of Terrifier.
You can applaud.
Okay, so my mom found the audition for me. Look at her face, she's like, God damn it. She found it online on a website. She found it for me. So I just sent in a video of myself making creepy faces in the mirror. I had like a black wig on, and I had like some like white like paint on, and I had this big lollipop that was like the size of my face. And I just like sent in a video of me just like doing creepy faces and playing around with the lollipop. And a few days later, Damien called my mom and was like, hey, we think Amelie would be really great for this role. And she was like, I don't know, like I'll have to talk to her first about it. And she told me how like it was gonna be a lot with like all the contacts and everything, because I was 11, so I didn't really know, but I wanted like experience, and I loved acting, so I was like, yeah, we'll do it. And so yeah, we flew from North Carolina to New York, and we met Damien, and he did some like makeup practice on me and stuff like that, and then yeah, I got the role, and I think I went maybe 5 times to New York and back to film my scenes. So, yeah.
Where are you from?
Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yeah, you definitely sound different than Mike. He's like, he has some beers and stuff. I love it, though.
Do you hear a country accent?
Oh, she just means we're not saying Terrifier. Terrifier. I love it, though. David, tell us about your casting.
For me, I had just come off of my last tour for Grinch, and I had decided to take off like 4 months just to live off of unemployment from Grinch, because I wanted to really just focus on auditioning instead of waiting tables, because that's such a distraction. And I was still a big musical theater guy, so I was up for like 5 or 6 different Broadway tours and final callbacks, and every single one of them fell through for one reason or another. And I was just like, oh my God, I'm so close to something finally changing. I'm good. Come on. And then I came across this like random casting call for Terrifier, and I had never done film work before, and I was like, oh, this could be fun, because I had seen All Hallows Eve, and I was like, oh my God, I know this character. Because I loved Mike's performance in that. I was like, that is such cool. Like when I saw it the first time, I was like, that character's like an evil Mr. Bean. I remember thinking to myself back then, I was like, this is an evil Mr. Bean type of character. I'm like, God, I would love to play a character like that one day. So when I saw that audition, I was like, oh, I want to do this. I want to do this. This is. I could do something fun with this character. And I approached the agent I had at the time, and she was like, absolutely not. She's like, this is a low-budget independent film. You're only getting paid like $100 a day. This is not.
You got paid?
You got beer.
Like $6.
But it was just like, but she was like so adamant against it, and I was just like, I was just insistent, because I wanted to finally have experience doing something on film. And I was like, look, this is gonna give me something I can use for a reel one day. I can finally learn the lingo, I can just get comfortable in front of the camera, this would be great, you know?
No one's gonna see this movie.
Exactly, no one's gonna see this movie. And I went in there and just got it. It was like I had to improvise a scene where, that's another thing that scared the crap out of me. I walk in there to the audition, and here it is, my first big film role that I'm auditioning for, and everybody else has got scripts, and I don't have a script. I'm like, oh God, no. It's like, she sabotaged me, she didn't send me a script. So I go and ask them there, I'm like, please get a script. Like, oh no, your agent should have sent me that. I'm like, oh no. So I'm like, I'm spiraling. And they call me in the room, and I'm like, it's just Damien and Phil, and I'm like, guys, I am so sorry, no one gave me a script. And they're like, oh, that's okay, Art doesn't talk. I'm like, cool. So what do I do? What do you want? And they're like, just come up with a scene where you decapitate somebody, and you're very happy about decapitating them, and go. And I'm like, okay. And you can see that audition online now. And it's just, I just improvised. I don't know where this came from in my head, but I did something where I just cartoonishly snuck up behind my victim and knocked them out, took out a hacksaw and sawed off their head, and then picked up the head, tasted the blood, didn't like the taste of it, so I took out a salt shaker and seasoned it. And licked it, I'm like, yum. Gave it a thumbs up and just skipped out my merry way. They're just like, hey, like they're laughing their heads off, and like, can you just come back in for a makeup test? And I was like, great, because I know that never happens where someone asks you for something like that in the first audition. Usually you have to go back for multiple callbacks. But then I didn't hear anything for a few months, and I was like, dang, man. And then like a few months later, I get like a message from Dane saying, hey, come in for the makeup test. I'm like, oh, sweet. So I go in there and he's putting the makeup on me and everything like that. And I'm like, does this mean I have the part? He's like, oh yeah, you've had the part for months.
Did your agent not tell you?
No!
That's why she was referred to as the former.
Yes, exactly. And the best part was, I had one final audition I had to do after I had the makeup on. He's like, I just ordered pizza. Go answer the door's Art. It was so much fun.
Please tell us how that went.
Oh yeah, the guy just comes up, I open this in the middle of the day on Staten Island in like August, and I open the door, and the guy's like, oh hell no. And I just like hand out the money, I'm like, just like, it's like, oh god, he just runs back to his car, goes out of there, and I go out and the neighbors are out playing on that little kid playing in the yard, I'm like, and the kid, and the neighbor gets mad at Phil because it was like Phil's house he was renovating at the time, so they're just like, how dare you send this guy on the, and they're like, you got the part.
That's what they do. All right, yellow shirt, here you go.
Hi, my husband and I have been kind of doing the reverse and watching like all the original like All Hallows Eve Ninth Circle, and like there's also like a short film version of Terrifier prior to the feature-length film. Do you see like a callback? I don't know if like Damien or maybe it's like a future iteration, a callback to like any of the other horror characters and like the original Ninth Circle, maybe coming up in future? Would you be open to it, to seeing some of those other characters?
Here's a deep cut that Damien does not ever talk about. Watch Frankenstein versus the Mummy. That is a movie that Damien directed.
Talk about a crossover.
Yeah, bring them back. Where are they? When are you gonna fight those guys?
Wait, did you work? Are you also Frankenstein?
No. He asked me to be in it, and I said the same answer when he asked me for Terrifier 2000 days. I said, no. No, I'm good. He's like, you sure? I'm like, it's gonna be a little bit easier. He's like, no, it's the same as filming on the other side. I went to the set and it was wild, like what he was trying to do. And then I saw the movie and I was just like, oh, thank God I didn't sign on that.
There is a callback though at the end of part 3 to the original. It was like when we're on the bus. There, of course, the girls reading the book that says Ninth Circle on it.
Yeah.
And that was that was his original idea to do it on a bus, and then we tried to do it on a moving train in Staten Island, and it just got, you couldn't even do it. It got shut down by people, so we wound up in the Ninth Circle of the movie. It was just a room in a sea view that he just made to look like a train station.
So that was kind of like a callback to like the original idea, like of the Terrifier.
I wish I would have known that. I wish I would have called. I would have loved to have been the bus driver.
I know.
So the book had Ninth Circle on intentionally. It was like
There's also, I mean, the circus sign that ends up on my corpse or on someone else's corpse, because you'll notice my hair suddenly gets a lot longer once I'm dead. Easter egg. That sign was also in the original short film.
When he was on the road and everything.
I know it's a different sign, but I think it's
the
meant to be
original one might be behind my old furniture at my mom's house.
Incredible.
That's gonna be
Shout out to Mom.
Oh, and one more question, sorry. What do you all like unanimously feel like is the scary, like if you weren't in the Terrifier movie and you were like an audience member, what do you all unanimously think is the scariest scene out of all 3 movies?
I think him just walking down that alley in the first one. I mean, like just seeing that in the middle of the night, just seeing this guy just waving at a bunch of girls. That's just creepy in itself.
I feel the Pizza Cafe scene is the most unsettling to me.
I don't really know. I don't really know what's the most unsettling. I've only watched it twice. I don't really know. I think I haven't seen the glass scene, but as just like I don't know, as like Sam and I have talked a lot about like stuff just as like a woman with the trauma that is being a woman. That I think would really get me. I think, yeah, and I'm sure she gives a brilliant performance that like a lot of people like only Sam could be able to tap into.
We're gonna let Kate watch it when she's older.
I liked the
first kill scene in Terrifier 2 in like the morgue. I feel like that's a very underrated scene, and it was really scary for me. So yeah, I'd say that.
I guess from the ones I've done, I mean, I could go with David's scenes, but the ones I've done, definitely the most reaction I saw from people watching is when they open the door and the Terrifier short of the third film and I'm sawing the head off. Yeah. And then the lift up. And then I love the scene where I come out of the ground.
Yeah,
And
that's
what's funny about that was improvised that day, because originally I believe Damien had bought a panel of breakable glass. And I was supposed to come through the window, but when we went to put it in the room, there was like metal bars. And he couldn't get that off, so him and I believe Gary and Kafarum at the time just thought that. They took the shed with a cement floor, went out, bought dirt, gathered leaves, put that in, and took a folding table, cut out a little hole in it, and then put a black garbage bag over it, covered it with leaves and trees, put a little hole in it, and said, when I yell go, come through that. And I was in the makeup for 13 hours at that point that day. So that shot of me coming out was, where I'm looking was Damien. And I'm just like, when I get out of this table, you are done. I think that day was when I got out and he clapped and he said, you're cut, go take it off. And I was like, finally, I just ripped it by the nose. I'm out of here, fuck you guys, I'm gone. I still didn't wait until the next time he called me up. He's like, you ready to do it again this week? I'm like, okay, let's just do it. And I'm happy I did, because I wouldn't have been here with all you lovely people at these I always knew that the Terrifier short on All Hallows Eve would have made a mark in the horror community, would know it. But what these Terrifiers are doing, especially 3 and your performances and all your other performances, is now bringing people who never wanted to see horror into horror. And if you start your horror journey with any of these things, there is nothing you're going to see from the past that is going to scare you anymore. So I think it's amazing what you did. So good job, guys.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. I had 2 questions to ask. One is for everybody. So, kind of jumping back on what you said earlier about The Grinch and Steamboat, what Disney/Dr. Seuss properties would you like to see happen in a horror film? That's for everybody.
I'm gonna skip because I have no fucking idea. That's a great question and a hard question for me.
I got one. Make Monsters, Inc. dark.
Be like Ariel monsters.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
That's good. That's good. That's good.
I want to see a fucked up 1 fish, 2 fish.
I was just saying, like, a fucked up all the places you'll go. Like, all the places you'll die. You'll really go. All places you won't go, bitch. You know what I mean?
Sex Toy Story.
Talk about Andy's.
Here comes Andy!
Buzz Lightyear, right? Talk about Woody too, no?
Give me your second question.
Second question, directly for Mr. David. Slapping Sienna, was that improvised or was that on the script?
Oh my gosh, the Chris Brown moment. Too soon? No, that was purely improvised by Damien, because he's like, God, this scene is getting so dark and morbid. People are gonna start slashing their wrists if we don't do something funny. And what you don't understand, that scene was even darker in the original script. We just ran out of time. That was about twice as long, that scene was gonna be, and it got some really dark places, but when we're filming that bit there, Dave's like, dude, this is getting dark. Dave, just slap her every time you go by. And it's also a callback to the first film when I was slapping Tara in the back of the head, so I thought that was a good full circle moment there, but I felt so bad because we had to do so many different takes from so many angles, because Damien loves his angles and he loves his multiple takes. And poor Lauren is just sitting there because, like, the performance she's giving in that scene, she is going balls to the wall crazy with it. And she's literally taped down to this chair for hours because she wanted to be
Relatable.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's so interesting what you're saying because I think like Lauren is so definitely like Jamie definitely pulled from Jenna in the casting of Lauren. I think it's like so obvious. They look like identical.
Art has a type.
Yeah, like, they look like they could be like sisters, you know, not like to take anything away from Sam also. But they do. And like, and I think like, and you know, Jenna is this incredible stunt performer. Actually, the only one in the franchise who can actually, we all have a stunt background, but she's the only one who can call herself a stunt performer because she actually doubles. And yeah, applause.
I'm gonna take you everywhere.
I learned this from Heather Buckley, who's another filmmaker who does this. Shout out to her. No one knows who, but no one listens to you, kind of. But she's awesome. But like definitely, and Jenna is like a Krav Maga like master, and I know like Lauren has a boxing background, so I think it's like really kind of cool to like see like the like what you're acknowledging there is like that they like the mirroring of them. I'm curious like if he'll like explore that as that goes on.
I would love to see that, but I also want to comment also like my first night filming Terrifier 1 was the scene where I'm attacking Jenna there in the garage. And that's my first time ever doing a real fight scene or anything like that. And I did not know, I was a comedy guy, I was a musical theater, I was a song and dance man. And I'm having to do this whole fight scene, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm so glad I had Jenna there because she has that experience doing stunt work, so she was actually helping.
Didn't she choreograph it?
Yeah, she was.
Alright, well,
She was
Jenna's like
it's like I was so worried about hurting her. I was like, especially like where I'm having to go at her eyes. I was like, I don't want to hurt her. And she's like, let's do it. if it goes wrong, just I'll let you know. But she was also telling me the right places to put my thumbs on her eyes so I could actually press in and not actually hurt her eyes or anything like that. But that's also where I call it my Plan 9 of outer space moment because I'm like, this is the scene where I'm supposed to be choking her. And we did other takes where I actually did have my hands around her throat, but they did somehow Damien wasn't able to use those takes. So it's the takes he had to use was where I thought it was just a close-up shot, and so I didn't really have my hands around it. So it looks like I'm force choking her. It drives me crazy. But and then also we had the night where you had to hit me with the board.
Yes, my favorite.
You want to explain that?
Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you. And I mean, it takes someone to being like that communicative that makes a really big difference. And like, it's definitely a team sport for sure. The night with the board was a lot of fun. We shot it 2 different ways. We had one board that was a real 2x4 for the shots where we were cheating the angles and I'm not actually hitting him. And then we had a rubber 2x4 for when I was actually smacking him around.
But then it broke. And that had a little wooden dowel in it and it just broke on the first test we did.
I'm just so strong, you guys.
And this is where I was so grateful that she has that experience doing stunt work and everything because we had to use the real board for when she has to whip that thing towards my face. And I had to just.
Something you should do.
Oh no. And I had to just trust in her the whole entire time to not hit me because that thing was coming so close to my face. And she's like, Dave, just do not move. And I'm like, I am staying right here. Because that thing was, whoo. And we had to do take after takes because I flinched before it was kind of like, oh no, gotta do it again. It was scary. That was scary, but it is all because of her that I am still alive.
Guys, go ahead.
You and me both keeps me alive on a daily basis.
Guys, thank you so much for attending this panel. Don't leave because there's going to be a selfie. But I wanted to say, Terrifier 1, I remember seeing you guys in the conventions years ago before it blew up. I remember that, and then I've been following your journey and watching everything grow, all the way up to Terrifier 3 being the highest grossing non-rated film of all time. It's been an amazing thing to watch, and we are very lucky that you guys came here and spent your time with us. Please give a round of applause to everyone. Stand up and give them a proper round. And then if you guys don't mind, I'd like you to grab selfie.